loaded into this one. It is our Silver North Premade Chumps final here. Minnesota Floppr, Paris Letdowns. Minnesota spawning on those close sides to P1, which we have seen has been favored so far. Is going to be them on the early time, and of course we'll look to flip to P2 any moment.
Paris actually spread out pretty well so far, not letting anyone on Minnesota get any sort of push through for the time being. Now, the opening kills do go in the favor of Minnesota for now, as they do get the early breaks. And so far, it looks like Ven, he's actually going to be able to make a push through, and might help get the spawns for Minnesota here.
Right here. Really no teammates before. Does find two, though. Looking for that third, but he'll just get to the back, and this is beautiful plays from Ven. Starting off 3-0, trying to find the timings on these players. Trying to hunt them down is Paris, but Verdict with the help on the Dudley. And this is a nice start here from Minnesota. Ven does finally get taken down by Suds, but the trade comes in. Minnesota will get the opening time here on P2. Now trying to formulate a setup here, and they are doing well. 3 down in the feed. Paris starting the reel here at the beginning of this one. A nice first two kills here for Minnesota.
Yeah, absolutely. They did a good job focusing on that early push towards the P2 to get those spawns. I believe it was Ven and Verdict both able to do the job for their teams. And now it looks like they have basically full control. There's really not much Paris can do right now. I mean, they're trying to push in through the middle, and Boomer is just not letting that happen.
Boomer already with that early streak in the back pocket, and now you're seeing Paris making the executive decision to try to rotate the next. Problem is you have Resent being an issue, and now he's going to have that teammate support. There's going to be Paris in the hill, but what can he do? Maybe just waiting for some teammates. Finds one in the back, and now this is going to allow Minnesota to push to the back. Suds with a big kill on Resent. And now one more player here for Minnesota just trying to break this by himself. Verdict does find one, waiting for the rest of his teammates. Paris will finally have a rotation here, though, and now Minnesota's going to have to find a way to break in.
Yeah, it was a nice try, but I don't believe that Verdict was able to get the spawns for his team, as I believe that the players were still spawning in over towards P2. But now here comes the break. There's 2 players coming in for a freezer, one over towards Carpet, and Resent is going to pick up 2 nasty. The only one person left for Paris is going to be staying. He's taken down. So a nice push in from Minnesota.
Minnesota making it look easy right now, just breaking point after point, and you're seeing already in the scoreboard. This is what you worry about if you're Paris. Minnesota off to a hot start. Resent. I mean, he was frying last week and starting right where he was again. Now Minnesota already set up for this P4. The remaining 20 seconds or so will go to Paris, which is honestly much needed scrap time at this point in the game. But as I said, Minnesota set up for next. And we'll see what Paris elects to do to try to break this. Dane trying to make a push here through Dubs. Does with a kill over toward that P4, then does get taken down. So it's going to be the early hit here for Minnesota. Not collecting any time at the moment, but has very good map pressure right now.
Yeah, Minnesota, they have really good positioning right now. I think Paris right now, they need to slow down a little bit and play together, make a few more group pushes. I mean, there was multiple times where it just kind of seemed like there was 4 players spread out all across the map, and it's a little bit of time wasting right now. Now somewhat of a push comes in from this B control area, and a nice play out of them so far. Looks like they're going to be able to get a little bit of time here.
Honestly, any time at this point for Paris is good time, as looks like they should be able to collect this last 20 seconds or so, but the rotation again will be won by Minnesota. Ven with a big gunfight victory on the rotation. I will say, Ven, one thing I noticed last week with him is he was not always the top fragger on his team, but he makes important plays time and time again. Always is on the rotation, always is making those big plays. The big one there, and now setting up his team. Watch the pinch from the back here from Paris, though. Does Minnesota read this pinch, one? Though. Yeah, trying to set this up here. Don't know if they'll be able to get it. Studs finds 1, finds 2. A beautiful pinch there from Paris. They're finally in the time, and they have some control.
Yeah, and they're going to get the time early as well, and now they just need to focus on the hold, because there's still plenty of time for Minnesota to make another push here and still get the majority of the time. Now, it was a beautiful pinch from Paris, but they need to hold it down here.
Finally collecting some time, though. Really getting themselves back into this game, and now you're seeing some, I was going to say some split spawns there for a second. Minnesota with 20 seconds left. Maybe chop this up and try to get over to that P6, because Paris is starting to heat up. Just what they needed after a slow start, and now winning those rotational gunfights as well. So here comes Paris. Tough start for them, but the last few hills here, they have really been turning up, starting to win some gunfights. And now only 22 points away from tying this one up. Stain can potentially make a play here if he's quiet enough, and he does. The pinch comes in, and that is going to be Paris back on the point now. Resent looking for a way in, finds two. He's trying to keep himself alive, wait for his teammates' support. Now that may be coming in, but Resent doesn't need it. Finally does get that kill. The trade comes in, and Minnesota will get back on the time.
Important to note, on that hill, I believe 2 players from Paris were able to get cruise missiles, so that may come in handy later. There's Dudley, and I believe it was Esdras as well that was able to get a cruise missile. So if this game comes down to the wire, I imagine those will be some crucial plays going on here. But man, that hill's a little bit scrappy, but some important things happening there.
Man, look, this is what Paris just needed to get back into this one, and now going to take the lead after everything is said and done. Pretty phenomenal comeback. I think the high watermark early was 80 or so points, but now they do take the lead heading back over to this P1. Minnesota needs to get a foothold back into this game. Boomer finds 2, but quickly traded out, and it just seems like time and time again, Paris is starting to win every important gunfight. Suds with the reinforcement onto this P1. 2 down. Minnesota, they're opening to get on this P1 verdict with the kill. And there you go, 4 down. It is going to be Paris with these P2 spawns, though. So Minnesota has to work on trying to flip here. Are getting the kills now, going their way. It's going to be 3 down. And this should flip once Boomer finds this kill. That will flip them out. So here we go. Minnesota starting to gain some momentum back.
Minnesota getting the momentum back indeed, but meanwhile, Paris, they're still doing a good job hanging into this game. I mean, I think it was Dudley went on like a 10 or an 11 streak, so he's heating up for his team, and that's exactly what Paris is going to need. But now they need to focus on these P2 spawns. Suts is by himself right now, and not able to get that kill. Kind of close, but you got 2 players coming in from Chandelier, one taken out. So it doesn't look like Paris is going to be able to get much done in terms of spawns here.
This is a big turning point in this game. Minnesota has a full setup to this P2. They got a 4 down on Paris, and they have the setup. Stain runs right on in, does find a kill, but gets traded out. And this is your time for Minnesota to lock this down. You're going to continue to get the Chandelier spawns if you are Paris. Maybe just try to contest this time as long as you can and then hit the roto, but already giving up the first 30 seconds or so. Dudley trying to find this kill. Close corner does. 4 down again, and I think if you're Paris, you have to chalk this and just go next. It is not worth trying to break in again. They're going to try it again, though. This gets dangerous if they lose these rotational gun battles, which currently they are. We're going to see where these spawns come in from Paris, but there you go.
No.
3 spawns behind, and that is exactly the risk that you take.
That looked like a little bit of miscommunication, too. It looked like 2 Paris arrows were going towards the next point, and then all of a sudden 3 of them. And because of that, they all of a sudden spawn a null. Now, it did look like there was a little bit of a split, but it doesn't even matter because now Minnesota, they're perfectly positioned for this retake.
They are, and also a pinch opportunity. Paris, though, getting the kills, so Ven really needs to stay alive for the time being. Wait for his teammates to get up through Diner. So something can happen, but, I mean, credit Paris, man. Like, they made a mistake there, but they make up for it. It's going to be all 4 dead, and now Minnesota spawning way out. Paris really can lock in this money hill that we know P3 can be. Already the first 30 seconds going their way. Minnesota with another hit now. Stain finding 2 with the Vaz. Verdict. Going to be the last up over here for Minnesota. Does find 1. Will play his life. The rotation coming in. So what looked like a spot where Minnesota could really run away with this game. Paris hangs in there. Now we go to another P4. Very, very close.
Yeah, I have to admit, Tej, I didn't expect that last hill to go that way. I mean, it really, like, Paris was kind of completely out of position. Minnesota just had the perfect pinch opportunity, but the gunfights, at the end of the day, they all went towards Paris, and looks like they're still going their way right now.
They are, and Dudley with 2 with the help of Suds. Suds with a 3rd as well, and it is looking grim here for Minnesota. Trying to lock this down. Will they read the spawn from Ven as he got a spawn out there? But that's going to be another 2 for Paris, trying to hold on for as long as they can. Verdict last up, takes 1 down, but Minnesota needs a wave of kills here. The point can still be won here for Paris.
Oh
Stain
man.
trying to find these kills right now. Minnesota does break back in. You just got to contest for a little bit longer. And now this gets interesting because Minnesota could have the spawns for next. Paris can no longer win here on P4, so it is going to come down to a P5. Minnesota, though, kind of spawning way out. Big gunfight coming in there from Resent. He's got to hold it down for his team. He finds another one. And just like it so often does, it's going to come down to a diner hill. Paris in the point early, looking for these kills. Only 10 seconds away now. The contest coming in. Boomer trying to stay alive for his team. Needs to stay up. Finds one. Finds a third. Boomer snapping on every Paris player. Last up for Paris. They need to make a break, but time is running out. The setup for Minnesota is here. A cruise missile coming in. Make that 2 cruise missiles coming in for Paris. They find 2 in the feed. Resent now last up, has to go massive for his team. Oh, he had the lineup there. Taken down, though. Now Minnesota trying to find a way back in, and that's going to be another 3 down. Suds trying to stay alive for Paris. This maybe goes to a next kill if the contests come in, but now Minnesota back on the time. Will it be 1 here? Will we go to a P6? The pinch down from Stain finds a 2. Looking for a 3rd. He is taking it down. The contest comes in, so it will go to a P6. Minnesota should have this victory here. Just have to hop on the point. Minnesota, 6 seconds. Can Paris run across the map? You take it in. You got to put the Nikes on and sprint, but they will not get there. Minnesota Floppr win map 1.
Oh man. I don't even have any words.
It's me on the dude. When I cast hotels, it's always like 10-point games or less. Every time, I love it.
Well, man, catch your breath. I don't think you stopped talking for the last 2 minutes.
To a Fortress SND, Minnesota taking the 1-0 series lead in this one. It is going to be Minnesota starting on the defensive side, but Paris do get the opening blood on this one. Boomer finds 1 and finds a 2nd as well. So Boomer has been frying this series already. Back at it again, and now the lives of ended for Minnesota. Stud finding 1. The trade coming in is going to be Stain as last alive here.
Man, Minnesota just got full-on aggressive there. I mean, I think they had a full defensive send over towards that A bomb site. They basically knew exactly what Paris was going to do there. Now 1v2.
Shots off. Present now backing up. They know where this man is. I mean, they have him cornered. It's going to be a tough round to win, but Stain does find the first. Looking for that push to come in from Resent, but it's going to be a 1v1 bomb down, 26 seconds. I mean, if you're Resent, you have the information that he's over on this side of the map, and bomb is down as well. I don't know if that's... Yeah, Deddy is popped, so he might be able to get this bomb down free. Now let's see if Stain can get out of there. The Chow coming in from Resent. For the moment, he's going to get out now, firing some shots off. Both players now seeing each other, and Stain in a very weird position, looking to the sky, finds the kill.
Dude, I mean, I'm sure it just looked like he, yeah, I mean, it just looked like he was laying down prone on his screen, but, like, it kind of looked like he was just shooting at the sky there. It looked really odd from Minnesota's perspective, but, interesting round there. Like I said, Minnesota, they came out hot, and, really that 1v2, fell in the favor for Stain, just with those last 2 Minnesota players just not really being near each other.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one to lose, right? Because you have the information exactly where he is. You basically have him boxed in, and then he, wins a 1v1 on, wins 1, making it a 1v1, and then at that point, it is just a coin toss. Stain continuing where he left off, does find 1, does get traded out, though, by, Boomer's going to find that kill. So now a 3v3 situation here. That's going to be Ven finding Suds on that bomb site. So it is going to be Minnesota with the lives advantage again in this round. Could not make use of it last round. And now Resent is going to get found out by Dudley. Ven makes a sneaky play. He cannot. Stain is going to read that. Now it's going to leave Boomer left only 1v2. Finds 1. 1v1 now. Dudley taking that chow. He does not care. 1v1. He chows it right away and wins it. And Paris goes up 2-0.
And I do wonder if maybe Minnesota made a mistake by not kind of trying to make more of a rotation over towards that B point, because when it was 3v2, you knew exactly where the 2 players from Paris were. And they probably wouldn't have much sight on the cross there. So, I mean, it would have been a free bomb plan over towards B, but Paris was able to take full advantage of the situation, at least.
That is going to be Paris back on the attacking side, and much of the same. Just both teams headbutting each other over on this A side. Staying with another first blood here for his teams, and Suds takes down Boomer. So early lives advantage here for Paris, and they're going to take full advantage of this, get this bomb down very quickly. Both Minnesota players hugging each other in the corner at the moment, just looking for an opening, but this is going to be a near impossible retake right now. You just got to find a pick just to start this one off, but you have all these arrows looking your way. Studs take that verdict. Resent finds one, but does get traded out quickly after, and Paris off to a 3-0 start. So that map one heartbreaking loss didn't really do too much to them. They're coming out here frying on this map too.
Yeah, I mean, it's still early, but I mean, you really like this pacing coming out of Paris so far. It really seems like that they are favoring basically these fast A hits, and it's working really well out for them. And even so, like Minnesota, like they did sort of a forward defensive send over towards A, but it's not really mattering. It doesn't seem like.
Does not, and now it is going to be Minnesota back on the attacking side here. A couple players meeting each other in mid-map, and it's just going to be a trade out there. And now a 3v3 situation. A little bit more slower pace this round, and Verdict's going to get a little too over-aggressive. That bomb is going to be down. Boomer now with a red dot on attack. This guy is a madman. See if he can find anything with his teammates. But again, Verdict just getting a little too aggro there. The bomb is down, and Paris probably know this. And you're seeing a very generic setup here from Paris. Watch all your crosses. Make yourself hard to kill, and this is going to be a tough retake here for Minnesota.
Yeah, it doesn't really look like they have much of a read. I mean, looks like Paris knows exactly where the bomb is, too. They don't even need to move. They have just about every corner covered, except for maybe the bomb itself.
Resent can make a play here, though. Watch this. As now Boomer finds one. Hey, you got to be careful. Boomer finds a second, and now the pinch is going to come in, and that is a beautiful retake there from Minnesota. Resent slips the net. I thought there was a player watching that P1 cross, but maybe some timing there, or I'm not sure what happens, but he gets behind, I'm pretty sure pops some Deddy and is able to find the kill. So Paris letting a round slip that you would imagine they were going to be in pretty good hands to have. Minnesota now on the board, and we'll see what that does to this game. Is could have been a 4-0 there to start it off, and at that point you're really favoring Paris, but Minnesota does steal a round. Paris goes back to the offensive side, and see what they elect to do here. Bomb is going to be carrier. Bomb is going to be carried by the man going to bottom art. Now they're going to try to watch out the P1. This is dangerous because Ven takes him down, and now the bomb is in no man's land. Stain does find one on the Boomer, but I mean, Minnesota's going to have no idea this bomb is down here. I will say that. I mean, they're going to be shocked if when they see it over there, but it is going to still be a lot of gunfights for the A side.
I mean, it's not a terrible play per se, but I mean, I do question, like, I don't think the bomb carrier should have been the one there, in my opinion. I think maybe you get a different SMG over there to maybe get some reads, and now, because of what you said, the bomb is in no man's land. Now, Paris, they are going to be able to pick it up, but there's Resent, I believe, who's in top maps, who's able to basically just read any rotation he wants to.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe the play there is they try to fake an A play and have the bomb go to B. I'm not really sure, but put yourself in a tough situation now. They do have the numbers, and they actually are going to be able to get this down. Minnesota playing pretty defensive here. Just didn't want to give anything away, but now that bomb does go down. Ven getting some information on that player. Gonna try to wait for his teammates here. Now, number 2 in Stain. Maybe he makes a play back through mid. He does. Gonna try to get some shots off. Now, you can set up a pinch here if you're Paris, but Resent finds one. Verdict finds a second. And just like that, Suds is gonna be left in a 1v3. Bomb also getting defused. Will he check this in time? He will! The lineup there as well. Now 18 seconds on the clock. Can Ven find him? Is this gonna slip out of the hands of Minnesota? The shot's coming out. Can he get there, though? Ven's got to sprint to this bomb. He got it.
He got it.
I think he got it.
I think he got it, too. And, man, what a close play. Sorry, okay. I just had to make sure that he actually got it. I was pretty sure he did, but, man, what a play. I mean, Suds almost just pulled off in a miracle 1v3 for his team, but not able to do so as a Ven able to just just hit a lot of shots with the pistol. The perfect. It was looking a little awkward because I thought he like auto mantled onto the rails or something, but doesn't matter. Able to get the defuse by a hair.
That's a tough round for Suds too, because you get the you're in a 1v3, you get 2, you're in prime position. I mean, the clock's ticking down. If he literally burns a half second more, he wins the round, but not able to. And gotta hit a quick regain here if you're Paris. That's 2 back-to-back rounds in a row that you've lost that you feel like you could have won. Trey's going back and forth early in this round. It's gonna be a 3v3 verdict. In trouble, but does get the shots through those closed doors. Now we'll see if they elect to try to get up. But Boomer finds Dudley, and that's going to leave Suds again in a 1v3. Have seen this before. We'll see if he can make something happen here.
And it doesn't look like they have any reads on where he is, but I don't think Suds has any read either. No one's watching this flank, though.
He will get spotted here, but he does get the kill. So now making it a 1v2, 30 seconds on the clock. Kind of just have to fly at this for now. I mean, he might, look, he can definitely find some timings here, but it is going to be, I'm not sure who that was on the gallows, but the Minnesota player just knocking him down. Minnesota 3 rounds in a row, tying this one up. It is going to be Boomer. Who else? The man with the tack and a red dot.
I love that, man. I mean, I love just, when you get these, like, it's just a red dot site, but it's not something we, like, see that often.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I played ranked earlier, and I seen a lot of guns that I just shouldn't have, and then I see Boomer pull this out. I mean, I seen P90s earlier, MP7s,
sniper rifles,
snipers and respawns. Like, we get ranked play, and I'm like, sick. Like, it's gonna be better than Mosh Pit, and here we are. Trying to find these players in open, does find one. Teammate helps with the second. Early 2v2, but once again, look where the bomb that is down for Paris.
Oh my goodness.
2 rounds in a row. This has happened. I do believe that's on the outside, and now Stain, Roseanne, getting some shots onto Stain. Gonna back up for the time being. Suds with a knife on the vent. Not sure what happens there, but now it is gonna be a 1v2. You'll be able to get this bomb up. Now, yeah, two rounds where it's been some questionable bomb carry deaths there, but now it is going to be Paris. They're looking to wrap this back to A. Resent has no idea. He just kind of has to wait for this to go down and try to make a play, which is going to be tough with that sub in hand. But Paris will get this bomb down onto A. Now Resent will have to retake a 1v2, looking for 4 rounds in a row. For the Minnesota Floppr, Paris trying to stop the bleeding here, in a good position to do so. But let's see if Resent can make something happen. Trying to get through this open area, no Daddy Pop, so they're going to hear everything. Get the nade out, get some shots off, but got 2 players there. Paris playing this well, just playing for that trade. Now one more shot at this if you are Resent. Trying to fly at this, does find one, surely not. As Suds trying to play his life. He is going to be seen there, but the snaking comes in on that back truck, and Paris win the round and go up 4-3.
Man, I will say, despite Paris winning these rounds, they're making my blood pressure rise just a little bit. I mean, like, with these aggressive challenges with the bomb carrier, I mean, that bomb was in a terrible spot. And it's a shame that Minnesota didn't even. I don't think Minnesota knew it was down there at all, but they did.
Why would you?
Yeah, I mean, the bomb was in a prime position for you to just literally chill and just watch any cross, and you would have been fine. But man, it doesn't matter. Paris is getting it done.
Watch this play here from Esdras. Can he make the play? I thought he maybe goes through straight here. Resent in trouble. Gonna reach out that like a madman and takes him down. Resent does not care. And now Ben, can he find the kill? No, Dudley will even the numbers. Verdict has this bomb and is trying to get up to the site. But again, it's much of the same if you're Paris on defense. Is the man stuck here? My goodness. Just watch your crosses and play for the info. And then potentially play for the retake here. Does Suds spot a leg and arm? He does not. So this bomb will get down. 3v3 retake. We're starting to run out of stuff to throw across the map, so we'll see if Paris can make the break. Just looking for one to start it off, but Boomer finds the kill on the Dudley. Suds, I don't know if he's going to expect this player in this close right area. Now trying to take this Chow. Teammate help from Minnesota coming in, and he will go down. Now it's going to be left to Stain in a 1v3. Finds one, quickly traded out. Minnesota back on the board, tying this one up 4-4.
Yeah, and a little bit slower that round. I really like that. It seemed like Minnesota, they waited until they had they had reads on just about anything before getting the bomb down. So nice plays out of them. And man, Teej, the way things are heading right now, is it too early to suggest around 11?
Hey, man, like, I just expected at this point in this one, had the, again, a close hard point earlier if you were not here for it, but now going into this round 9, tied up 4-4. And it's going to be Minnesota back on the defensive side here. Then can he spot those toes under the door? I'm just going to try to get some shots into that gallows. Verdict finds the first kill onto Suds, and now watch out for Minnesota. Resent from the back finds one, looking for the second, and Resent will get that kill. So the flank comes in from Resent, pops that daddy, makes the play, and now Minnesota 1 round away from going up 2-0.
And that's what you like to see, different plays here and there. I mean, that was a flank on defense, and Paris was just not expecting it at all. That dead silence working to perfection, and now Minnesota, they're on match point. See if they can finish it off.
We will see, as it's been a lot of the last few rounds a little bit. I mean, not slower, but it's kind of both teams taking up the same positions. You know what you're going to expect out of these rounds. Although Resent going to try to catch this aggressive Paris player off guard. Estrus again, already a tough gunfight he lost against him a couple rounds ago, but now trying to get some shots on. Now he's going to go in for a shot on the Verdict. The trade comes in, though, from Resent. 3v3. Now Boomer finds one, then finds one, and just like that, it is going to be Stain in a 1v3. Does pop that Deddy. So that is going pretty quickly as that bomb goes down as well. He's going to have to try to make a play, but you see all those arrows just looking for that information. Minnesota finds the kill, and Minnesota wins it. Another tough loss there for Paris, as now they go down 2-0 in the series, and now Minnesota just 1 map away from becoming champions.
And I'll tell you what, Tej, there was 2 rounds in that S&D where I really
We are headed to the map 3 between the Paris Letdowns and the Minnesota Floppr in the Silver North Premade. That's the second time tonight Premade is on my mind. Finals here, and it is going to be Paris starting off on the attacking side. Already looking to capture this A point, this stack coming in. Minnesota will try to fight this one. Maybe a pinch opportunity coming in for Resent, but he's going to get red. Paris making a statement early, capturing that A point in a matter of seconds, and now they're going to have a full over 2 minutes to go capture that A point. Lives advantage early as well, but this is where it kind of gets tough because Minnesota, you can already see the emphasis on getting that bedroom control. Resent over in that area. Can you find him? But this has been a very positive start here for Paris. They're coming out flying.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And now Resent is kind of stuck in no man's land. I mean, he's in a really good position to make something happen. And man, looking a little dicey there for a second. 2 players for Paris, though, are taken down. Now 2 more left on the hill, but it looks like Minnesota is able to maintain control for now, at least.
But you get that first pick in, and that can be so massive if you're Paris. Just for, obviously, the longevity of this map. But, wow, Stain winning 1 on Resent. That's going to be 3 down, and Sutton find the last one. No, but you have the information now. He's going to turn around and find his player. Dudley snaps onto him. Now can you get some Paris players to reinforce this point? Dudley does get taken down, though, so Minnesota, nice job stabilizing. Estrus, though, finds a way through the back, gets one before he gets traded out, and now Suds, last alive, gets taken down. Burdick will be traded out mid-map, and it's just kind of been both teams bashing their heads in this opening round here, excuse me. Resent finding 2 in the feed. It's been good. This has been a good bounce back here for Minnesota.
It really has, but one thing to keep in mind, though, at this point in his lives, Paris does have that slight advantage, so they can play a little slow if they need to. I mean, time could be an issue going down the road, but I mean, you don't need to make overly aggressive plays right now. You do have that advantage.
This is where it just gets so tough for an offensive ball, right? Because you're pretty staggered here, and you just had Dudley try to go into a long flank. He gets taken out. And now it is going to have to be a full reset here for Paris. And how do you attack this one? Looks like they're going to try to attack it on multiple fronts. The verdict is just reading this time and time again. Does he spot this last player? I don't know if he got eyes on, and Stan will take him down. Is this maybe the opening here for Paris? It's going to be Ven with that trade. Now maybe one more push at this if you are Paris. Try to get this positioning, but you have to clear these players out of bedroom, and they're just not able to at the moment. It's going to be another 3 down. Resent, make it 4 down, and that should be the round. What looks so positive for Paris. Minnesota Floppr just got into a setup, and Paris did not break. Now maybe one more shot at this to run across. They're going to get cut down, and Minnesota take the first round.
Yeah, I mean, Paris, they force stacked the very first point. I think they only had 1 death on the first control point. But it was kind of the opposite when it came to that B point. I mean, you had a couple good plays here and there, and they were able to get that tick. I mean, you never know, that could be important later. But Minnesota definitely looked a lot better there.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. I mean, that's a decent run for Paris, but it felt like they had an opening on 2 of those pushes over toward B, just couldn't capitalize on the kills, and now, Minnesota, as I said, just got into a setup and was able to really just lock things down. So there is going to be Minnesota here trying to attack the A point just as Paris did in that first round, but Esdras finds 2, will get traded out. But that point is safe and sound right now as Dudley just playing over toward this A side. Now, more pressure coming in from Minnesota, and does that trophy going down and give his position away? Verdict, it does take him down. And Paris, I mean, look, if you're Paris, you're probably not too committed to throwing as many lives of this, but just make it mixy. Now starts coming from the back, finds one, going to try to play his life. But this is going to spawn Minnesota players over toward that beast point. They know it. If Paris is going to try to rush over there, this will at least allow Minnesota to maybe. Paris got to focus now on this B point. Minnesota also trying to make a play. Ezra has to find this kill quickly. The Minnesota trying to capitalize, trying to get through the map onto that B side. I like this play here. Can they find the kills and make it work? Resent just trying to stay alive, wait for the reinforcements. Paris, though, doing a good job of locking it down. But meanwhile, that A point still going.
Yeah, it's still going. And I mean, there was only one person on it that whole time. I mean, you get that full, I believe it's 45 seconds to capture the point. So, I mean, it's meanwhile, Minnesota, they're doing a good job making it's kind of a split play over towards that B point. Making sure that they can still capture that A point and still get a little bit lives in their favor.
This is going to be important as Boomer. Can he find these players in top bed? If he can, this could open up the map for his team. Does find one, and now the second goes down as well. Now, got to just move quickly, but not in time. Boomer, though, trying to stay alive on this point as he read Dudley. Dudley spots his location. Teammate help comes in. Now there's going to be another reset here for Minnesota as Paris shuts down another push. Lives basically even at the moment now. Minnesota with a 2 life advantage. Now another hit coming in. This could be interesting here for Paris. Got to find these kills. Ben gets through, slips the net, and this is going to get a few down. Ben, I mean, he can potentially stack this point here if you get this kill and get 3 on. Maybe make it 4. Only 2 players on it for now, but just watching all your crosses is Minnesota. And now you get that stack in. 3 players on the point. Paris has to find the kills, but they are getting cut down, and you can chalk it up. Minnesota go up 2-0, and they are 1 round away from becoming champions.
Man, stack the point, work the gems on that one for sure. I mean, and they just had all the kills going their way. No one in Paris even close to being able to stop that. It really seemed like that entire round, Minnesota they had the upper hand in positioning, whether it was on flank or whether it was in top bedroom. It was leaving Paris to having to guess too many angles, and it really worked in Minnesota's favor that way. And I mean, that was, with all due respect, that was pretty easy for them to do just based on their positioning.
And I want to mention Ven again because he makes a big play. Goes to the point, goes up to P4, and yes, while he could have stacked it, I mean, he gives his team positioning, gives his team that pressure. They found the kills, and that was all she wrote. And now Minnesota, can they close it out in the defensive round? Paris fighting for their life. on this map. Gonna get that 3 down and then last alive. Of course, if you're Minnesota, you're not too concerned about giving up this A point. Just want to focus on B. Make sure you give up nothing over there, and you're already seeing the spread for them across the map, making sure they get some bedroom control and try to cut these players off of this capture. Try to do exactly that, but Esdras wins that one, and now it's going to be Paris trying to push through Chandelier, but Resent is there, and he finds both. Paris trying to find an opening here, but not too much. I mean, Minnesota's in a pretty good setup right now.
Yeah, really only one person is in any position to do anything, and he should just kind of play his life here, I think. Well, maybe he can get a little bit aggressive over towards this P4 area, but he's going to get cleaned up from behind. Now the rest of Paris, they're kind of sat together, and shouldn't be much trouble for Minnesota. And now Suds separated from the rest of his team. I mean, we've seen this before.
We have, haven't we? And it's just so tough. As I said, just trying to get yourself grouped, just get yourself in a position to make a play as a team. And he tried to make the same play Ven did last round. He does get taken down. And they're seeing across the map. I mean, you have one Paris player near the point, but the rest spawning out. Ezra that's fine too, so maybe the opening here, but Verdict in that top head area gonna cut down two. Now Stain with the snap cuts down a second, but Verdict still being annoying in that bottom lights area. And Paris, I mean, look, it is tough, man. This is really tough.
I know it's really frustrating for them too, because like they take down two players in like for Minnesota that are already in really prime. Where did that nade just bounce? Did that bounce off of the glass? I didn't even see.
I think, yeah.
But anyway, but either way, I mean, if you're Paris, like you're taking down like these two players, and then there's two more pop up in just prime spots, and there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, this is looking like it's all Minnesota.
Yeah, and 24 seconds away, from being crowned champions. It does not look good for Paris. You have one more push at this, or your winter season is over. Your chances of getting that ring dwindling right now. Gas get a clean 4 down. Shots coming in. Will it be enough? That is going to be 3.
Here we go.
Time to get on the point. You got to get on. Resent from behind again. Resent trying to find these kills. Finds 2. Looking for the reach out. Resent finds the kill, and that's it. That is it. Minnesota Floppr win the Silver North Premade Division. They are champions in a 3-0 sweep of the Control and the series.
A 3-0 sweep, but I will say, aside from that map 3, Tyler, very, very close series.
Yes.